So, I'm going to talk about a album by Simon and Garfunkel, Parsley, Sage, Rosemary and Thyme. This is an album that my father bought when it was brand new, and I discovered it in 1980. In September of 1980, I listened to this every day, and after I came home from school. And this is an album that almost every song on this album was on the soundtrack of The Graduate, and I think Sounds of Silence is the only song that was, and Mrs. Robinson, those two are the only songs on The Graduate soundtrack that are not on this album. So, let's go through what's all in here. So, it starts off with Scarborough Fair / Canticle, which is the title song of the album. And that's followed by Patterns, and then Cloudy, and then Homeward Bound. Now, at one point in the 70s, somebody offered the Beatles $1 million to reunite, and so, as a joke, Saturday Night Live offered them a ridiculously small amount. So we got a lower budget. We can only offer you like $5,000, $2,000, something like that. And John Lennon was watching it and said, "Hey, wouldn't it be fun to do that?" So he called the others and they arranged to show up and have a Beatles reunion on Saturday Night Live for that paltry amount. But Paul McCartney's cab got lost and couldn't find 30 Rockefeller Center. At least that's the story they tell. And so it didn't happen. But if you watch that episode, you can see George Harrison behind the scenes at the beginning arguing with Lorne Michaels because he said that he thought they were each going to get that amount, not that amount for all of them. And Paul Simon was the host that time. He came out to do his monologue dressed as a turkey. And for the musical thing, George Harrison and Paul Simon did Homeward Bound and Here Comes the Sun. And they were really good together. It's a real shame the two of them never made a whole album together because they were really good together. Anyway. The next song is more hard rocking than most of the songs on here. It's The Big Bright Green Pleasure Machine. And then that's followed by the 59th Street Bridge song, parenthesis, Feeling Groovy. And notice on the credits, all of these are written solely by Paul Simon, except the first one, which Art Garfunkel is credited with. So that's side one. Let's take a look at side two. Okay, so side two starts with The Dangling Conversation. And then Flowers Never Bend the Rainfall. And that's followed by a more hard-rocking one. Now, most of these songs are really mellow. It's Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel singing duets while Paul Simon plays guitar for most of these. Very mellow stuff, but the next song is more hard-rocking. It's A Simple Desultory Philippic, or How I Was Robert McNamara into Submission. And that's followed by For Emily, whenever I may find her. And then A Poem on an Underground Wall. And finally, the last song of the album is 7 O'Clock News / Silent Night, which is basically them singing Silent Night, and after about 30 seconds, somebody reading the local news or national news comes on. It starts off quiet and gets louder and louder until it matches the volume of the Simon and Garfunkel, and it really makes a good juxtaposition between Silent Night and all the horrible stuff that was going on in the 60s. So, this is a really good album. I think it's my favorite Simon and Garfunkel album. The only song that I feel is missing is Sounds of Silence, which was on a previous album of theirs. And it is in The Graduate. As I said, almost every song on this is in The Graduate, and only a couple of songs are in The Graduate that aren't on this album. So check it out.